My name is Jacques Fontanille, President of the International Association for Semiotic Studies and Professor Emeritus of Semiotics at the Semiotic Research Center of the University of Limoges in France. I would first like to acknowledge the university authorities of Nanjing Normal University, and especially those of its schools of foreign languages and cultures, and thank them for their continued commitment to supporting semiotic activities in Nanjing. I also extend my warmest greetings to the organizing committee of the Semiotics Symposium, which have been held in Nanjing for several years, and especially to Professor Hongbing Yu, Vice President of the International Association for Semiotic Studies, who has led this organization with a success recognized by all semioticians. When you participate in this symposium, like all of you, you must feel as if you are part of several decades of academic cooperation in semiotics with a far-reaching international scope. It is therefore only natural that this event is organized under the auspices of the International Association for Semiotic Studies. This situation of scientific meeting under the auspices of the ISS implies reciprocal rights and duties, a true partnership, and commitments that fully enhance the global and multidisciplinary nature of the Nanjing Symposium, and this one in June 2025 in particular. One of these reciprocal commitments concerns the measures addressed to early career researchers. The symposium organizers, supported by their university, propose a set of measures which are validated by the ISS, and we fund half of the costs of these measures. This symposium has chosen as its theme the semiotics of good life exploring through multicultural prism, which presents a wide variety of scientific aspects, mobilizes numerous semiotic problems, and require active and attentive collaboration with several scientific disciplines concerned with the construction of the meaning of human life, the meaning of life for each of us. I would like to emphasize the profound semiotic implication of this theme. The first semiotic implication is a conception of good life that is based on a conception of the meaning of life, which allows us to differentiate between good forms of life and their degraded forms. Thus, good life becomes a semiotic question, finding the meaning of life, the answer to which leads to form of living as a semiotic research project. The second implication is that the semiotics of good life cannot do without the contributions of other disciplines, each of which develops a conception of the good life and of the meaning of life. The call for papers lists these other fields of research closely related to semiotics: philosophy, linguistics, literary criticism, cultural studies, feminist theory, cognitive science, communication, digital humanities, racial theory, and biosemiotics, but others could also be called upon. For example, health sciences and environmental sciences must also, each in their own field, adopt a conception of good life and of the meaning of life. This second semiotic implication has an obvious consequence. There are many sciences of meaning, and semiotics is one of them, with a status that is always difficult to specify and assume. One of the challenges of this symposium is undoubtedly to contribute to a better definition of a science of meaning which, among other sciences of meaning, is able to schematize and explain how the meaning of life can be reconfigured into forms of living. The third implication of the multicultural nature of good life. For, from the perspective of semiotics, good life is not satisfied with general or universal considerations. The good forms of life are culturally specified and marked. As a result, good life is necessarily an object of dialogical confrontation. To live well together, we must first agree on what there is to share or harmonize between the respective conceptions of cultural groups and even individuals. Good life is fundamentally a matter of agreements and disagreements. You are now entering into dialogues that over several days will allow you to determine whether an agreement is possible on the good forms of life. The good life is, as conceived by semiotics, as a profoundly dialogic, interactive, and diplomatic character. Thank you for your attention and wish you excellent days of collective work. Best wishes to all and enjoy your symposium.